Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to try to get this headstock right. We're almost done with that, and then we can concentrate 100% on the fretboard, which I'm going to get the machining done this week probably for it. Then we can get the fretboard on here, and then we're into sanding and finishing, which is always good. But on the fretboard I got a little bit of inlay to do on there, and a couple of cool features, so we'll get that going here soon. But today we're going to get this neck straight. You can see I've done the shape of the headstock, and I drilled the holes for the tuners. As I finished drilling the holes for the tuners, I realized that I had not put on my head plate veneer. So I had to go back and do that. Well, what I have is a fixture here on the CNC that I use for doing these. I've found this is the best way by far to drill the holes for the tuners. You can get an exact hole and you have absolutely zero tear out. If you use a drill press or a drill, a lot of the times you get tear out, and that really irritates me on the back of the headstock, because you want the back of your headstock to be clean. So I'm going to put this right back into this fixture that I used to drill the holes, and I'm going to do that to get the holes drilled again in the head plate. And I'm also going to do the little port here for the truss rod while it's in this fixture. It's held in very tightly, just like that. It's perfect fit. I simply just took the same profile, and instead of running the cutter on the outside to cut the profile for the headstock, I ran the cutter on the inside of the line. You can run outside or inside. You can tell the machine which way you want to go. And I ran the inside, which makes a perfect shape of the headstock. And it fits down in there perfectly like that, as you can see. All right? So, having said all of that, let's go ahead and run these tuner holes. Then I will get the truss port ran. And then we can take this off of here and start concentrating on the back of the headstock. I need to take a little bit of material off the back of the headstock. And I'm going to do that using a new fixture that I've created for the drill press. But I thought about maybe trying to make one for just sitting on the bench, just to drill, not to drill, but to sand the back of headstocks with. So I'm still thinking about that, and we'll see how that goes, okay? Basically what I'm doing is using this. Hold on. This tool here that I got from Allied Luthier, which is a great company, has a bunch of cool tools. They're a little pricey, but that's kind of tool that you buy, you only buy it one time. So I can understand why they want to charge a little bit, and it's super quality, nice aircraft aluminum parts. And so anyway, you put this in a drill and you can sand with it. But I'm thinking about trying to make something that will mount to a bench. Of course, I can put this in a drill press and make a jig like that, but I'm not sure yet. So we'll get back to that. Let's do this first. Okay, that works well. I just drilled those holes right in the perfect spot for me. Now all I gotta do is this truss rod port. we'll be good to go. Let me get that set up. Hey guys, so what I'm doing obviously is sanding the back of this headstock. I can get that nice and smooth right there, that transition. And I'm also taking a little of the thickness out, as I wanted to leave it a little thicker and sand it down to where I want it to be, just to make sure I got it exactly how I wanted it. And I also would have to come back and sand this anyway, so the only trick to this is just making sure you hold it tight against the fence. You know, if you lift up on it, it'll put a little divot in there. But it's working well. I'm happy with it. Before I used one that was just a regular like drum sander, and it wasn't attached underneath. This is that little unit I showed you earlier that came from Allied Lutherie. You look down inside here, the bottom end of it is in a 1 1/4 inch hole inside here. So that holds this thing nice and straight. And I put a square on it, make sure that it was square to the fence. And it works really well. I'm happy with how it's working out. For the tuners, yeah, I need to get it down around 0.600. It's a little heavy. I could even go a little less than that, like 5/8, and that works well with those tuners. You know, you don't want it too thick, because then your tuner post obviously can't stick up far enough in here. And that's about right. That's what I usually do, right around 6. And we're almost there. So I'm gonna take a little more off. I still need to do this, and my battery died as usual on the iPad I used to record with, so I built this jig instead. I was going to do this mounted on a tabletop, but the more I thought about it, it just made more sense to use what I already had, the drill press, and all I had to do was just kind of, you know, I kind of just built this on the run. Didn't really make a set of plans for it or anything. Essentially, there's just a block inside here with a 1 1/4 inch hole that holds the handle, and that keeps everything, you know, running smoothly. This has, you know, some bearing. It has bearings in it so it can turn, and it keeps everything square, and you're not pushing against one end or the other, making it torque out of shape like you do with a drum sander. And so this is working really well. Of course, I need to hook up a dust collector. What I'll probably do is put a hole over here and just hook a vacuum up to it. But this is working good. I'm gonna go a little further, then I'm gonna do this route right here and call it a day. Okay, so let's get this done. Okay, so the last thing I want to do today is I want to do the truss rod port. I have the holes re-drilled, as you can see, very clean. Looks nice. I sanded the back side of the headstock to the proper thickness that I want. exact thickness I want. I still got to do a little sanding right there. I got to go over there and hit this just a little more right here. Didn't quite get in far enough, but I was trying not to go too far. But I have the angle right. I just didn't quite get the little tip. That's okay. We can get that. We can just walk back over there, just leave that set up. The drill press jig over there that you saw in the video before, in the earlier in the video here. And now I need to put this back in here. It fits in there very nicely, nice and tight. It's not going anywhere, and I'm going to touch off from here. That way the machine knows exactly how far to go down inside, and I only want to go 3/8 of an inch down inside here for the port. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do right now. First I need to change that out to 1/8 of an inch. First time I'm using it, so I want to make sure I get the height right, you know, on the neck pocket and all that. So I made it a little thick, and we can work down to it, which is all right. And then I'll record it. I'll record those dimensions, and on the next one, I'm going to do another one just like this one on the next one, and the next neck. And I'll know exactly what size everything needs to be. We're going to do our touch off from the face of the headstock. Like that. And we'll run the truss port program. And let's see where we are. Okay, there's our truss rod access to tuner holes, head plate, our fixture, we got that done today. I took a little time to put that together. Of course, this all still needs to be sanded, but I won't do any of that finishing stuff until I have the fretboard on, because I'll make everything blend together. And that is a very nice neck. I'm happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, that's it. Okay. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Don't forget to get out there and see some bands. You know, go support your local musicians, your restaurants, and all that good stuff, and be good to each other out there. And we'll see you next time. Peace. Worth Guitars. Bye now.